Hi, my friends and family. It's Trey, and I'm back. Today, got a painful little talk called Stuck in Flunkin Survival Beast Mode and the long range view of Earth into Serpentina. Hey, little sister, what have you done? Agreed to let the deceiver and their evil ETs and billionaire slaves steal half the bodies and souls in the skies for nearly everyone. Hey, little sister, nanotech colony. Hey, little sister, graphene dioxide, blood clot, shotgun. If there's nothing pure in this world, and there's nothing true in this world, it's a nice day for a white wedding. If there's nothing real in this world, it's a nice day to start again. Stuck in a flunking survival beast mode and the long range view of Earth and Serpentina. Well, as I made the content of my last video about retrogrades, well, if you have to do things in retrogrades, not only do you have to proceed as calmly and slowly as you would riding a bicycle backwards, you also have to have the immense forgiveness to deal with the past when it creeps up into view. So why would anybody watch or listen to a dude or boy man in a tent or in the Santa Cruz, California mountains who doesn't pay a mortgage, who's not a really good, healthy box slave, who hasn't sold books, who doesn't have a PhD or MD, even after having devoured over 150 self-help books, when he is not a good, obedient box slave? Doesn't he know in Serpentina a black magic and mecha cube tech rule it all? And if you're not a part of this black magic serpentine cube control, that you don't deserve to have an audience, according to the CIA who work at YouTube. Don't you know that black magic and mecha cube tech rule it all, including skies and weather, are to be controlled? Herein lies the split, the great bifurcation, as it's known. The devil's foolish Helite warlords force upon all, clearly breaking the laws and rules of a free will planet, but they have to do it invisibly with weather manipulation and blood clot nanotech shots. Oh, and they force their will upon all on the surface of planet Earth. The wheat and the chaff, the Bible says, will separate in the end days. But guess what? Flip the script, and who's the real chaff? Okay, is it those who would die and kill for their greed or their overlords and kill us all off, or is it those who would die for freedom? I always thought the mafia, especially the Khazarian mob, to be the umbilical cord and afterbirth, and Ken Carey's wonderful books. He says, supposedly channeled books, he says humanity is a baby being born spiritually, like the form of humanity itself. It's a large infant being born. Well, and as far as planning and dark arts and the arts of war, you know, of course, if war as an art is not a total oxymoronic term, then I have to say that the dark, regressive ETs, the dark aliens who think we are their slaves and we are their energy, like the Syrian Anunnaki and the Draco reptilians, for example, and their gray servants and their billionaire robber baron slaves, have actually done a masterful job in implementing this slow infiltration and fast killing sprees like Lahaina in this ancient war. Humanity has been, and is continuing to be even more so, more and more, the lab rats, guinea pigs, for getting experimented on by our dark overlord junior gods who think they're the real gods, and also the proverbial frogs in the pot slowly getting boiled. Only today, for example, in California, in this case, it is obviously invisible microwaves, today it's geoengineering, and invisible in California it's geoengineering, but it's invisible microwave direct energy weapons burning down towns, and nucleated ice and chemical geoengineering sprays to luckily cool us all down. Bill Gates and the Lockheed Martin and the CIA love us so much they cooled it all down today, or give us plenty of rain and deluge. So they love us so much that they might just flood out some of our coastal cities, with weather weaponry, while these coastal cities all drown in God's abundant mercy. If you're not a slave, if you don't have, you can't really be heard if you try to go on YouTube, apparently is the moral here. Mike Mattingly said when he got a college degree from here at UCSC, it simply gave him a louder voice. Now, whatever you're doing right now, today in your life, how does this impact your soul growth on the long term? Okay, you always have to wonder, what is this action or this day going to mean in the long term? If you can watch my videos, or say a George Carlin video, or a Dave Chappelle routine, and not change a thing about your point of view, at least your perspective, or ideally some of your darker habits. If you can watch these videos and not change a thing, if I don't leave this campsite and do not, or at least do not build a huge garden here, are we being hypocritical? Or letting ourselves down, stuck in the fucking scripted normie Cali hustler, for example, Flunkin beast survival mode? Because we still happen to believe in and obey our egos, our separation, our problems with our friends and family, and personal narcissism, and obey the 2D and 3D cookie cutter, wage slave, cube tech lies of for example, the Santa Cruz Gouge pageant. If you watch my videos, you know it's a lie that you have to participate in the Gouge pageant, but yet can we actually form communities, actually transcend this filthy crap cube tech that's taken over most of the planet here, especially California? Or be like me and having to hide, most of the life in order to sleep at night from these narcissistic creeps, because I'm not 100% clear with my discernment and how to I haven't 100% forgiven myself and how to notice them, for example, is one of the keys. We have to forgive ourselves for all the harm that we've allowed to happen to us in the past, to reintegrate into society or the world. We are all healing and learning. In a way, you could say this show was an attempt to help as many as I could, like a born-again Christian, but in reverse, with equanimity, with equal respect, to try to pull you out of hell. To pull as many out of hell as I could psychologically, but I'm starting after 2020, so it's a little bit late in the game. After I didn't die on September 1st, 2021, a year, when I was hit in traffic, a year later, I was like, time to finally begin my online service. Osho said once, you have to make people pay money to learn. Well, I learned that the hard way here on YouTube and Odyssey. Think about it. Discern if you are unhappy with your job, your place, or your mate, and you watch videos about Christ, truth, and change, but alter nothing. Are you just simply open to learning, or you just want food for thought? Yet still consenting to slavery and mind control. This window of duration of the timeless now will only be open for some limited amount. I don't know how long that's going to be, but if you or I or anyone watching this you may lose the flesh suit or get contracted somehow, or further stuck in a situation that it will take longer to get out of, with far graver consequences if we're not if we're all not being clear now. Okay? Karma is real. Yet no man, woman, or even Anunnaki can truly understand what your karma or mine actually is. Think about the long-term consequences of it all, of all your thoughts and actions if you have the courage. Shady information middlemen and the Google, CIA, YouTube wanted to make me feel discouraged by shadow bans. But this only reminds me I am beholden and underneath no devil worshippers. Ultimately in the end, I am only under the divine Mother Christ. Consider the masterful long-term planning also. Remember, Rockefeller had to make masterful planning choices, having a lot of help from the dark side to create the allopathic system and also the compulsory public school system, K through 12, forcing you to go 8 hours a day. They had 6 hours a day. They had a lot of help from evil alien species, several, and talented black magicians such as like Aleister Crowley, Adolf Hitler, B.K. Skinner, and Timothy Leary. Did you know the man-hater was the man-hater movement was created by a straight woman, happily married woman, Gloria Steinem, and the CIA, and the hippie movement also were created by the anti-life secret societies. Did you know that? In Wes Penra's third level of learning, wespenra.com, I'm reading, he says someone who channeled, I forgot which race it was, someone who channeled some of the dark ETs called Earth Serpentina, or the planet in a serpent. Okay? If this is what they believe, if this is okay with you, and what will you be up to when this, when everyone's taking so many boosters that this is 100% or 55%, so that it's fully the planet of the serpents? Or will you be like me, someone who's willing to risk it to see, or to at least suggest the long-term goals of your soul, your oversoul in Christ might have for you in this lifetime? Will you have the courage to stand up and help to create so-called heaven on earth, or the fifth dimensional Gaia, divine Christ earth? Or will you succumb continually to the takeover of the dark ones? How can you transform the broken parts of your soul, body, and psyche to become healed, a healer, awakened, and help others awake? Calm down, listen to nature on earth, or will you stay stuck as a fucking 3D slave in a rut? Can you create a greater dream than that? These are the questions you have to ask yourself.